One of the biggest benefits in using a smaller keyboard layout like a 60, 65, or 75% is to have more room for your mouse. Getting rid of the numpad on the right allows for so much more space, and it's great if you're playing a mouse-heavy game, or for ergonomics because you don't have to reach as far from the mouse. However, what if you need a numpad for faster number inputs? This is where the Southpaw layout comes in. A Southpaw layout is a keyboard with a left-handed numpad. The rest of the keyboard can basically be any size. Even if you don't need a numpad, with QMK or VIA, you can turn the left-hand numpad into a macro pad for gaming or productivity. The Southpaw keyboard I have right now is the EXT65 or Extended 65. It's a 65% keyboard with a mirror numpad on the left. Or you can have all the keys be 1U keys for macro purposes. I really love this keyboard because 65% is already my favorite size, and the addition of the numpad makes it great for productivity. I don't actually input that many numbers for my job as a product designer, and I could get away with just using number on top, but the left-hand numpad makes my workflow much smoother. In Figma, the interface design tool that I use, I can change the size or position of shapes and objects by using simple math. For example, say I want to move this square 40 pixels down from the square above it. I could manually move it down, or I can go into the Y position on top and simply type in plus 40, then enter. If I wanted to increase the width of the square by 80 pixels, instead of dragging the edge, I can type in plus 80. The nice thing about this is that my right hand never has to let go of the mouse. With a right-handed numpad, I would have to let go of the mouse to input in numbers, but now my left hand does all the keyboard inputs, allowing me to design faster. Let's talk about the mirrored numpad for a bit. The reason why the numpad is mirrored on the EXT65 is because our hands are mirrored. With a right-handed numpad, our index finger hits the 1 key, middle finger hits the 2 key, ring finger hits the 3 key, and so on. So when the numpad is on the left, the thinking is that it may be more natural for it to be reversed to match the left hand. At least in theory. This took some time for me to get used to. When I first used this keyboard, I would constantly hit 1 instead of 3, 7 instead of 9, and so on. Maybe a mirror numpad could be more natural for you, but it wasn't for me. Unfortunately, Southpaw keyboards can be difficult to find. There are some options on Amazon, but since this channel is mostly focused on custom keyboards, here are some upcoming options. The SP-111 is a split Southpaw keyboard with a compact full-size layout. The group buy for this keyboard is already over, but has not shipped out yet. There will be extras once the group buy orders have been shipped. I'm not sure when that will be, but I would guess in a couple of months or so. The plate that comes with this keyboard does not support a mirror numpad, but the PCB does, and the plate files have been released if you want to get a mirror numpad plate cut out for yourself. I decided to do this because I didn't want to switch between a non-mirror numpad and a mirror numpad between the EXT65 and this keyboard. It's a sandwich mount board. The two halves connect via USB-C, and it comes in black, white, or blue-gray with a brass plate. The Wyvern has a very similar layout to the EXT65 and is currently in the intro checks phase with prototypes already made, so this board may reach the group buy stage soon. It looks like it'll support either a mirrored or non-mirrored numpad. It's a top-mounted board with a brass or polycarbonate plate and will come in either black or white. The Hex 6C is a full-size Southpaw keyboard. It's basically a TKL with a left-hand numpad. It has a knob that you can use to control volume or whatever else QMK will allow you to do. It's going to use some sort of gasket mount that allows the plate to be isolated from the rest of the case. And they will also offer a Southpaw mirrored plate or a non-mirrored plate. Some other info includes wing key or wing keyless layouts, black, white, or silver, brass or aluminum plate, and aluminum or brass knob. It looks like it'll cost around 420 Singaporean dollars or around 308 USD. An Acrylic EXT65 was offered on Keyboard Treehouse for a time, but it's currently sold out and I'm not sure if or when it will be restocked. You'll have to join the Keyboard Treehouse Discord server to stay updated. There are also separate EXT65 PCBs that will be restocked sometime in the future if you want to build your own case. The last keyboard I'll talk about is the Southpaw 75. The group buy for this is already over, but it sounds like there'll be another round, at least for the US. But the files will be open source in the future, so you can go and create your own. Despite its name, it's not a 75% layout, it's a 60% keyboard with a non-mirror numpad. This keyboard is a budget option, so instead of an aluminum case, you attach the plate and the bottom case with standoffs. If none of these keyboards interest you, you could always get a separate numpad and place it to the left of your keyboard, but I don't think you'll find a mirror layout with a standalone numpad if that's something you're looking for. I hope I was able to show you the value of Southpaw keyboards. If you're doing any sort of work that requires you to even occasionally input in numbers, or maybe you want a macro pad attached to your keyboard so you don't have an extra cable on your desk, then a Southpaw keyboard could be great for you. That's it for me today. Please like the video if you found it helpful and subscribe to stay updated on my future content. Until next time.